Hey there, and welcome to a potion party! Woo! Potion party! My name is Sheep Launcher. I am here in the booth with Deathlike, and tonight we are previewing what could potentially be the flag set for the spring event coming up here in Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise. And Deathlike, this party is really rocking with two big things that are changes from previous tournaments. This time, key items may be hiding in trap chests, and this time, getting your required objectives wins you the game.
Oh, but I thought there was Bacchus in this party, right? Everyone with Bacchus filled. No. Oh, but that was a race that didn't happen this year. These two aspects we're still trying this out, and it's really interesting combination. I mean, K-Trap being favorites of looters, or maybe not so much. We'll be seeing a lot of actual looting at places where there are trap chests. So we're talking about Castle Evelyn. We're talking about Zot Flame Dock chest. You'll probably by at some point you will probably remember it or forget it. It doesn't make a difference. And we'll probably see some people last locationing Sipes Cave, because while most dense, it has quite a bit of key trap chests, so which means more potential for key items.
Yeah, and this flag set will also challenge our runners to have a balance of shopping and looting. So outside of the trap chests, which could have potential key items and other goodies, all the other chests, although they're wildish rated, only give you money. So it's just money for shopping, and the shops are wild. So you could find anything, and say you get an early Cecil hiding behind an early key item, and are able to find crystal swords in a shop. Well, that's your path through the seed.
Yeah. So shopping, I think you. So if you follow runners, please follow our runners. Many of our runners have probably participated, and you might have seen, called Supermarket Sweep. It's a flag set where you basically collect as much money as you can to buy the weapons and armor you also want. Although I think Supermarket Sweep you had everything at free, but so we had similar flag sets that you have to pick up quite a bit of money, buy your loot, the best loot that you can ever get, like a crystal sword for Cecil, or a sorcerer robe for your wizards. You will probably spend more for real top tier stuff, though the average tier you're probably be reasonable, and then there's the junk you might never even consider, but there's still some value in that. So I guess everyone is off.
Yeah, Commander Leonhardt, Poydrak, and Jadave Garin, those are names you'll want to remember for the spring tournament coming up. A blue robe hands our party a pan, and we are underway. We are glad to have you with us. And our party is a Rosa and a Quack Kid.
Yeah, so we essentially have starting a mage party, although we might have one berserker. Well, we'll see if a heroine robe is found. No, actually, not even found. We'll have to buy it. That's
yes.
So yeah, so when you see our runners loot, you'll see spots that have quite a bit of money in them. So we're talking like the waterway where you would find Tella in Castle Evelyn. In dungeons, they're actually pretty good, because they'll be above average compared to a town, for example. So you can see, like, NG Dave has figured, hey, I need that money and I need that now. And while T Wildish is on, and we'll give you money, but you'll have kind of like, there will be some lumps, but more often than not, there will be some good money you found in these treasure chests.
Poydrak looting out Baron, showing us a twin sitting with all of the elements at Baron Inn, and I believe that was a duplicate Palom. There are no dupes on in this flag set. No free characters either. Commander Leonhardt launching the hovercraft, but not getting a character check. Poydrak checking out shops and picking up a dancing dagger.
Certainly. Worth early on can also be used as a dart later. There's plenty of utility, especially with Quake Kid not even having enough levels to cast a level 2 elemental base level. Palom doesn't have anything. You need one level for at least for the first of the level 2 elementals. Dancing Dagger though will carry the day for quite a bit.
Avenger and longswords for sale in Kaipo. Commander Leonhardt giving us a glimpse in the bed, and I believe that was a Dark Knight Cecil.
Probably want to wait till picking up that DKC later, at least after doing Mount Ordeals with a Cecil in a seed. Mount Ordeals is a thing, and would be worth a trip. Sometimes for our runners, we'll probably at least want to try to collect the key item there. I mean, especially in the early stage, there are four key item spots available, and Mount Ordeals is one of them. Probably the slowest, I think, of the initial 4 available.
Yong in his vanilla spot up on Mount Hobbs, facing off against a turtle. And speaking of vanilla, I do want to thank our restreamer Dathis for putting on this show for you tonight. Much appreciated.
Yeah, King of Vanilla, or something of vanilla. We're getting scoops. We're gonna get a healthy dose of it. So I can't say no to some vanilla. Anytime there's vanilla, it soothes my soul a little bit.
And so both Garen and Poydrak facing off against that turtle. Commander Leonhardt still on the lookout for the shops. One of the flag sets here, no J items in shops. So while we're used to seeing sirens and Bacchus wines and hourglasses in shops, they are not available here. So those will have to be found. Maybe if an edge shows up, maybe you sneak some.
Oh, the genesis behind that is simply, you can actually buy moon veils with S Wild on, so making it even easier than it already is. I mean, we cursed rings, and adamant armors are off the table, and typically those things make things easy. And moon veils being a J item is kind of the outlier of all things. So if you were able to buy at least a small stack of them for some boss battles, the seed would just kind of be rolled over like if you started with a foo. So that's kind of one of the only real reasons why J items aren't available in shops.
We want to thank also our tracker Alisale stepping in to take care of pushing the buttons. Everybody has a pan so far, and then scurrying all over the blue planet to collect that money that's lying around in chests, and maybe spending it on some good stuff. Dave had a nice little stare down with that Kaipo lady. You get out of my way.
It's a tradition in early Final Fantasies where NPCs like to be out of your way. If only we could ask them nicely, or just shove them. That's what you do. You push on them, and then they move as mutely as they possibly can. That's so. I mean, but yeah, sometimes
it's polite.
Except if they're stuck, in which case pushing them doesn't, like in real life, doesn't make anything go faster. So.
And meanwhile, the Antlion Cave has turned into a comedy club. You can see the brick wall behind Golbez as he laughs himself silly. This is actually a really good spot to see Golbez, the magic power here, not threatening. A lot of times, as you see with Garen, you come down here with 2 characters anyway, so Shadow doesn't do anything to you. Should be able to, if Garen can get up a Star Veil, should be able to get through this.
Timing with that Star Veil is unfortunate. Not enough damage to kill, but enough timer on that virus to kill off Rosa's, which is unfortunate. So Pointrak early on used a dancing dagger strictly on Rosa just to ensure to speed up the process as the Shadow Dragon disappears once 2 characters live, or rather, kind of 3 characters. Depending on the number of characters, only 2 characters standing, and the rest get a nice instant death, unless it's immediately blocked for reasons, usually from the Riven.
But Garen gets through. Golbez has to ask himself questions. You know, it's good to ask yourself questions to kind of get the answers, but Golbez never seems to get to that part of self-reflection.
I just think he has an obsession with the 25th letter of the alphabet. Why? Why not? Is the question, really.
Well, Fading Antlion, not in the cards tonight. It looks like an Adamant is half a Forge. By the way, there are 8 objectives. As you see in the middle, our runners have to complete 6 of them in order to win the game. That is, win the game. Win the game.
See, the thing is, you might be asking yourself, we've had Zima zones, but this flag set, there is no Z to fight. You just have to complete the objectives. So, Z flags, you could we might be seeing a league without them on. We not it's not guaranteed, but but for this flag set anyways, for this race, Z flags, it could also be today. It's going to be for after this race is over. We go to sleep.
Yeah, I think Zeromus might have had too many potions and might need to take a nap. But if you've never played a seed with win game as an option and go to Zeromus, go visit him, see what he says. It's fun.
Oh, but there's fun behind that curtain too. So you should, if you happen to visit Z, might as well take a look around. Just for a peek. You might be surprised. With that in mind, though, that also means you don't have to grind to Z levels. You will still have to grind up to the levels for whatever it is to complete the seed. So you're kind of less likely inclined to do a grind, or at least a D machine grind anyways. You probably, especially with Siren, even though Sirens may or may not be on the table, we can't actually get XP from normal enemies. So we can't, unless it's from a trap chest. So that's another caveat. So we can collect all the Sirens we want, but anything we summon from a Siren, 0 XP. You're wasting your time.
Correct. And just to clarify on the objectives tracker in the middle, it says 5 objectives. That's kind of that's the limitation of the Monday and Friday community race thing. There are actually 8 objectives squeezed into 5 objective slots. So the split objectives, it's basically 2 objectives using 1 window. They're each separate objectives.
Yeah, so but part of the objectives, it's kind of interesting pairings. So we have basically, do you want to do Fade March or do you want to fade the moon? Ultimately, and there are obviously other objectives, and you might do half of each. It's kind of a cute idea. Sometimes there are bosses at those spots you'd fade it anyways. And sometimes you might be fortunate that they have the freebies, like King Queen Evelyn. So with this flag set, you kind of have a bit more freedom than you'd normally have in a seed.
Yeah, and if you remember from our last tournament where it was it was mostly boss hunt objectives. No boss hunts in this set of objectives. It's all quest objectives. However, there is one boss that our runners will still be on the lookout for, and that is D-Mist. D-Mist holding a key item in this flag set.
Probably, yeah, D-Mist still at large, so Bedwart not a thing. I mean, can only be Bedwart, can be D-Mist, it can't be both. So that's, so if you're not checking the bed, it's going to be a D-Mist hunt. I'm usually not concerned about a D-Mist hunt. I mean, if in most seeds, you'll probably stumble onto them, get a free key item, and it's not too bad. And I think most of our runners are going to match each other. Still have not found underground. Oh, well, no, found hooks. Poydrak found the hook. So, though this flag set includes a force magma. So magma's still on the table. So it behooves Poydrak and all our runners to actually check the other spots, hoping for the magma key, as it has to be somewhere. Having early hook doesn't mean we have to do the hook route immediately. So that's the nice part about this flag set.
Yeah, although the hook route is an objective, launching the Falcon is an objective, but yeah, this party with these levels, our runners will still want to avoid doing the hook route right away if they can, so they'll probably continue searching on the overworld in Baradin and in Mad Ordeals for that magma key, which we know is somewhere on the overworld.
I actually rolled myself a seed where the magma key, one of these potion seeds, where the magma key was actually behind D-Mist, who happened to be at King Queen Evelyn. So that's an interesting caveat. I'm not sure if it's a bug, but at the very least, if there's a magma key, it might be as late as King Queen Evelyn spot, and if the boss at the Rubicon spot isn't too tough, you could just go straight hook. You don't have to actually get the magma key at that point.
Yeah, and then you can just throw it down, and well, that's gone after you've already gotten the hook,
and it's gone.
And Jadave and Garen both defending Fabul after Poydrak, and will get their hooks for being so noble. Commander Leonhardt checking Troya. We'll find some nice things here, but nothing super special.
I'm actually concerned with this party. This is a kind of it's okay composition. I think there's no. I mean, Yang is the dedicated berserker, but he needs levels to get somewhere. So he's not his current purpose isn't going to be fulfilled this early, and it might be a problem for some objectives, like trying to collect some of the stuff from Castle Evelyn. Might have to look for a Charm Claw. I think there's a Cat Claw in play, and I'm not sure we've seen a Heron Robe, because that would be very important to kind of get our runners across the threshold. Poydrak hoping our shops are any better. At least S Wild is global, so everything in the shop can be as good and can just as much as garbage. So I'm looking for something like a Cockle shop. It's just as good as any place else, technically speaking.
There is a crystal sword for sale in Evelyn's shop. I know we've seen a tiara for sale somewhere, as well as cat claws for sale in Troya. I don't remember seeing a heroine robe, but it's tough to keep track of four runners. And Commander Leonhardt making an interesting play here, heading up the Tower of Zot, wants to pet a dog.
Yeah, Flame Dog is not very threatening unless you have like a mage army without magic. And hey, here's the other white mage. So yeah, and Yang, uniquely titled Punch Mage, because like mages, they need in levels. The spells they need are kind of important to reason to keep them, really. So there's I think this is a very interesting party that we're putting together here.
Yeah.
And that might kind of incentivizes trying to get all these trap chests, especially the those lower Zot giants, the Mad Ogre chest, or even the Staleman chest here in Cave Eblin. Definitely, I think those are worth taking on, at least before the Castle Eblin stuff.
I'm sure Poydrak was hoping if he had to get another mage, he would have gotten Rydia, because Bahamut Orbs for sale in that Eblin shop. But is stuck with, the fourth best white mage in the game?
No, it's second best. Porum is number 2 in my heart. And
Porum's number 2, all right. And that's a legend sword for Commander Leonhard from the Flame Dog chest. And that's big. Commander Leonhard, as soon as he gets underground, has access to one objective.
Yeah, so it's good. And Rosa is the hero. The sea hero is on, so she is also the anchor. So there isn't really any disincentive to go to kind of gain levels for her. She's going to gain levels regardless of whether you want to or not. And White Mage is pretty much useful for practically the whole game, so there's no reason to for many races where you have floor anchors. Well, she can't, not an ideal floor anchor anyways, and curse strings out of the picture. You kind of have to want her. No, don't. It's not worth the time. At least this.
Commander Leonhard did face down a Sparkle at the first spot in Zot, and Nopes out of there will take his Legend Sword and leave.
I don't think there's actually much in the way of a good stuff for Rosa. I think it's just the bow, if I'm not mistaken. Or the arrows, the Perseus bow or the Perseus arrows. The arrows will be stronger than Artemis. Just straight raw attack power. The bow is basically a stat stick equivalent of having a life staff. So and it's a bow. So that's kind of it's definitely nice for Rosa. So.
Poydrak is now mucking around in Eblin Castle. 3 trap chests here, of course. And our runners each start off with a trap kit, which gives them a couple of hourglasses, an assassin dagger, just meant to make these trap chests just a little bit easier. And Poydrak taking full advantage.
Yeah, hourglasses are kind of the favorite thing for taking on most trap chests. I think the only exceptions are really anything in the LST and we're definitely not looking at those, not whatsoever. But for here, it makes these fights free, so you can them as much as you want. Probably not forever though.
No. If you had an Hourglass 3, it could be forever, but Hourglass 2s do wear off, but should be the Mad Ogre should be immobilized long enough for Poydrak to get through with them. Commander Leonhard takes a tough wipe to that Plague in the second spot in Baron, and Garen's gonna try their luck. Oh, and there's a Heroine Robin Aggert for sale, and Edge immediately snaps one up.
Yeah, that's an instant buy. Even if it's much as I like having sorcerer robes on our wizards. The thing is, heroine robes. You might need that offense now. I'm not sure what the bow situation, but I think we probably might have seen at least the samurai bow. Rosa is pretty much online. Might actually be surpassing Yang in offense for a while until Yang gains enough levels to, do his thing. But for now, Rosa, carrying the offense, at least reasonably sufficient this early in the seed.
Edge Dave making that trek up Mount Ordeals. Garen on to that Plague and looks to have a pretty decent setup here. Another person is really helpful in this situation to deal damage and also to be at low health to kill and then revive.
Yeah, Plague strats are very useful using, if you see Garen's screen on the lower right. the idea is to at least kind of kill one off, revive them, and so the reset happens. So you'll see that there'll be some life potions being used, and then Plague will be like, not everyone has count, so let's count again, and the timer resets, which is an awesome benefit, and you're just gonna keep seeing more life being used, and you see it repeat, and that's kind of how you take on a Plague at a low level. Even if you didn't have the damage, but this is enough to just kind of get an opportunity to get some offense and kind of slow the instant death part down.
Yeah, Plague is like a really rigid kindergarten teacher, where if everybody's not counting the same way at the same time, you have to start all over. And Garen using that to their advantage. Edgedave does get through all of Leg at the front of the bridge on Mount Ordeals.
Yeah, that's Leg and then Squid, of course. That's always a good time on Mount Ordeals when you've got even more Leg on the table. I mean, back-to-back Leg, technically.
Poydrak ducking back into Eblin Castle did kind of duck out to reevaluate. I don't think he got anything special out of that Mad Ogre chest.
Oh, ribbons for sale in Cave Evelyn, which is nice, but we've seen the gold biz long before. I think everyone has done outline. So, but still worth picking up for, especially some of the Scythe chests with the mobiles. Their bad breath is pretty nasty. Applies a multitude of statuses, and ribbon is a cure all for many of these problems.
Garen picks up the darkness crystal from the Baron Inn, and Rosa's saying, let's go, and we'll see if Garen wants to take that let's go all the way to the moon. There is an extra character up there. There is a shop, although that's probably less important. Can see at least who is in Cave Bahamut. Would be an interesting play here, and Garen's going to make it.
I think in this flag set it's worth picking just for the character. Anyways, we have no dupes, and we have only 7 distinct characters, so we need to build a full party. Having this additional character will, I think, make a difference. I mean, maybe not. It's not guaranteed. I mean, there's still plenty of dupes still alive, so we're having, say, Iridia would be value, or we know there's a Cecil, so that's one character that we know. So there's 2 other characters at large that we don't know are there on the table. So this at least a worth a look.
Poydrak gets the rat tail from the Black Cat Lamia chest in Cave Eblin. Meanwhile, Enjadave gets the tower key, and Mylon and friends, it must be cold on Ordeals. If you're cold, they're cold. Bring them inside.
Well, you are going up a mountain, and mountains typically are pretty cold. I mean, there's some ice at the top, so I mean, it is a small place to be. Small place. It's comfy, so that's why everyone's cozying up in that room. So I can't blame Mylon. Can't blame Mylon and his friends.
Oh my body, Mylon! Look at her butt.
But there is no butt to be faced today.
Commander Leonhardt trying to take on the stalemate. Poydrak, meanwhile, did duck out of the Castle Eblin to go turn in this rat tail, which I would be very tempted to do as well.
Yeah, well, when you have kind of key items to kind of get another key item. Unfortunately, Poydrak didn't get much out of it. Yes, a J item. J item at this point doesn't hold that the same value it once did at the beginning of the seed. And I saw a crystal sword from a chest from one of my so Commander Leonhardt, if he hasn't peeked Kaipo, the bed in Kaipo, that means, I mean, that's the perfect weapon to keep around just until you actually pick him up.
Yeah, and now Garen has a fat chocobo that can also take on that the crystal sword. Yeah, but Poydrak's rat tail turn in, not great. It's just stardust in the wind. All we are is stardust in the wind.
If I knew what the name of the song or anything, but that's okay. We used to have a club that did all that music. That was a fun club. So I think everyone's doing mostly what the others are doing at this point. Garen on Mount Ordeals, NG Dave doing now finding out Plague is the next lethal thing that shows up. It's interesting that Garen did not take a peek on the moon, I think. So that's, I think it's still worth doing, especially even just peeking the Cave Bahamut boss. That is, sometimes it's just as free. It's the thing about when bosses actually get to reveal themselves, unlike the LST spots. You can prepare for it, even though if you're not leveled, and you can at least fade it if for later if worse comes to worse.
Poydrak threw the last of the trap chests in Castle Eblin. Not a key item. So let's review. We know there's a magma key somewhere on the overworld, and so the magma key, or the way to get to it, has to be behind the D-Mist, which is either at King Queen Eblin spot, because we know Bahamut is in the second spot there, or in the waterfall or in Mist Cave.
I don't think our runners have peaked those spots, which is still worth checking out. But there's also the trap chest in Zot as well. Babel, from the overworld side. That there is that treasure chest too. So we've only seen the Staleman. So that's, I think at this point, our runners for the most part will be more incentivized to just do the hook route, the Falcon, instead of chances are, if when they think Castle Eblin is empty for the most part of key items, or at least maybe the rat tail, the D-Mist might be on the way. You might as well just do the objective. Just why bother with a key item? You know that's going to be there, but do you want to go out of your way for? It's always a good question to ask.
There's a great question in chat, speaking of which, regarding where this magma key can be. Since the darkness crystal is on the overworld, can it be on the moon? And let's talk about how the key item flags kind of interact with each other. The key item flags are the main key item areas, of which there are none on the moon, and trap chests. If the K-Trap is on, but the K-Moon is not on, that means none of the trap chests in the lunar subterrane, the Bimmies and Jimmies, the Behemoths, those really monstrous trap chests, none of them can contain key items. There is the so-called hairdryer chest in the lunar path that can still contain a key item, but it won't contain the magma key in this flag set.
I think it's I don't think, actually, I'm trying to think if it's K under. I think it's part of the hairdryers. I think it is actually part of that list. I think under K main, even though it does require the moon. And there's also the giant, the giant of Babel, that is also part of the K main treasure. So it's kind of unique in that way. It's pretty much K trap and K moon means LST trap chests are in play, but that's not the case. So the kind of the off chests basically being the hairdryers, which NG Dave is fighting, and the giant trap chest, the last arm, that is also in play. So you have darkness only kind of gates two spots effectively in terms of the K trap K main interaction.
and they can be key items, but my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, that like my understanding is that they can't contain the magma key unless the unsafe flag is on.
Yeah, that should not be in play. Usually, your underground is gated. It has to be on the effectively the overworld, more or less. So there is no other place. The hook can be wherever it wants to be, and it happens that hook is very accessible. So that's the only difference. So we can still get, unlike Force Hook, where Magma Key is nowhere to be on the overworld. This is kind of the opposite, where Force Magma means the hook can be anywhere, but magma must be on the overworld.
Yeah. So hopefully that's clear as mud.
But pigs play in mud. That's
and pigs get fed, but hogs get slaughtered.
But do we get to use a change rod this seed? Probably not. But that's yes. The power of pig in a change rod. I love it. Probably won't be seeing that seed. I think
Wojak just bought a change rod.
Oh, well, he needs a stat stick. Palom needs all the magic he can get. So Charm Rod or Stardust Rod not found yet. There's in a shop. Any stat is better than nothing. That's unfortunate. Evil Wall in this spot Quinn doesn't really need to fight it, but okay.
Yeah, can access some of the chests back here. By the way, Engine Dave did pick up a moon veil from the hair dryers and did get enough experience. Now has Quack on the kid, so Engine Dave can just blaze down the hook route. Doesn't even need to be on the hunt for this rogue D-Mist.
Yeah, so in this flag set, you have, I think we start with like 3 hourglasses. That can correspond with each of the 3 chests in Castle, but the hair dryers have a lot more experience. That's kind of where the thought process is. If you kind of want to save them for kind of more tougher ones, just because you get more experience, but 2, they are more dangerous. So if there are more enemies on the screen, there are more opportunities that you might not have a good fight. So like Scythe Chest, you can have 6 ghosts, and those are pretty nasty if you're underleveled.
Yeah, and well, with Engine Dave's levels now, especially, you can make the argument that any magma key is just not required at all. And with Quake Kid, with Bahamut in the second spot, very doable there. The hook route is pretty appetizing all on its own.
Yeah, the hook route is a lot more appealing, especially. Magma Key is probably behind something that you are kind of unintentionally fading. So it might be one of the chests in Zod. It might be the D-Mist, not Zod. Lower Babel, or actually it's Upper Babel. Sorry, Lower Babel's from the underground. So that's there are plenty of places where Magma Key can hide, but not so. So I think being thorough, or at least early on, makes a lot of sense.
I've seen you've played lower upper before.
I don't have an answer to that.
No one does.
So yeah, I think one of the Evelyn chests was a crystal sword. I think it was NG Dave that found another one. I think no, sorry, it's Commander Leonhardt. So we're with all the kind of the dual crystal swords on the table available in this seed. It's kind of hard to you hope praying for that Sand Ruby to show up at this point.
Yeah, I mean the Cave Evelyn is crystal sword heaven, with crystal swords for sale and also the Stalemen carrying one. So yeah, we know that there is a Cecil in the bed. Not all of our runners know that, but just a sand ruby away.
So it looks like I think NG Day is ready to take on the hook route. I don't. It escapes me. I did not see who the boss was for the hook route. Do you recall?
So the second boss is Bahamut.
Okay, that's pretty free. So this is easy enough to take. Yeah, but, certainly worth taking on. The Bahamut does kind of like a plague-like thing where he instead of kind of cursing everyone and to a death count. It's a blarg count. Starting from 5 because 5.
5 blarg. 5 blarg countdown. Poitrak got a look at the boss in Cave Bahamut, and that is nasty. That is Mom Bomb against a mage party. Ooh, that's gonna tickle.
Mom Bomb, I think one of the bosses where that Mom Bomb loves to punch. The kind of caveat of Mom Bomb is actually just kind of recognizing that Mom Bomb has kind of a split HP pool. I mean, Mom Bomb, when after doing the exploding phase, generates 6 smaller bombs, bombs and gray bombs, and they eat into the HP pool. So in some instances this isn't bad, but you have to even avoid the exploding phase, you have to take down about 10,000 HP worth of life. So there's Mom Bomb can be kind of deceptively difficult, but also kind of a blessing where especially at higher HP spots some of the time.
And as a reminder, there are 9 total racers on tonight. In addition to the 4 on your screen, there are 5 others competing in this race. This is the Potion Party preview, a little preview of the potential flag set, one of 2 potential flag sets for our spring tournament, which is coming soon. Keep an eye out for that, and go check out the Discord if you haven't yet. Edge Dave is taking on Valvalis in the first spot. Yeah.
It's surprisingly it's not as bad as it sounds. So Val, if you don't get her out of spin mode, which is pretty much all we primarily see her in, she doesn't. This spot has like no magic defense, but also when she's spinning, she's doing other stuff with spell power. This spot has very weak spell power, so she's actually less effective. And her punches will hurt, but it's not as frequent as many other bosses at this very spot.
And Enja Dave threw already and is now on to the nice teacher who is going to teach us how to count to 5.
It's the kind of reverse. It's counting down from 5. But hey, I think it's time for Blarg, and I'm a little concerned. Oh, okay, no. Looks like Rosa's gonna take a nap, and everyone who doesn't have a star veil. So all the white mages are going to take a nap from this. Okay, that's all right.
And so the Sea Hero flag is on, and that means even when Rosa is fallen, we all know dead, but fallen at the end of a battle, she still gains experience. So you can't destroy her.
Not forever. But Porum does actually need something in the way of levels. Though Rosa will be the focus, as her spells will come much earlier, much quicker. That's unfortunate. Follow up Naganuke. Not enough offense at this point. So this is NG's Dave is probably going to rethink the plan. Changing battle speed might get a few turns in, but this is kind of a DPS race when Star Veils are kind of at a premium, and probably will consider saving after Val. When between the King Queen Evelyn spot and the Ruby spot, you can actually just run back as soon as that battle's done. There will be a moment hoping Edgy Dave will perform it, but you can kind of like as soon as you complete that fight, you can walk back out and save, and then come back to get the healing before the fight.
Commander Leonhardt, the first runner on Restream to get through the 4 Mad Ogre chests, and that is the Magma Key. So as was called in chat, that's kind of the last location for the Magma Key. Commander Leonhardt says, what do I need that for?
Yeah, we have underground access now. Again.
Yay!
But this, if given this spot for NG Dave, might actually he hasn't. I think he skipped the treasure chest, knowing that it is only Magma Key. Might think of doing it. Like if this Bahamut is too much of a DPS race for our runners, it's a nice kind of backdoor into the underground. So, this is one of the situations where having forced magma could work out in our runners' favors, because this group does actually need reasonable levels to kind of out DPS Bahamut, and Star Veils we can't buy. That is the other problem.
Enja Dave did take off some equipment to lower Rosa's agility, which Bahamut will get some more turns in, but hopefully the Star Veils will last long enough that Bahamut can do all the damage to itself before the Star Veils wear off. That's the calculus that Enja Dave is making.
Yeah, so that's the thing about about agility anchoring. When your anchor character has a lot of speed, everything speeds up. This means Plague's count counts down faster. Bahamut goes faster. Walls, the duration kind of is actually shortened because it kind of wears off faster. So a slower Rosa in this instance makes everything go slower. That means the reflect on both twins last longer. I don't think it's going to last forever, but right now Rosa without the heroine robe is significantly slower, and that is literally the technique to take on Bahamut. Yeah, I think the twins really do need the levels anyway, so this is a calculated decision on NG Dave's part to get the XP. And Rosa, again, Sea Hero, she gets XP despite dying. That's the power of Sea Hero.
And well done from Enja Dave, and Enja Dave will be the first of our restreamed runners to the underground in just about 45 minutes. Watch out for the pitfall!
No! Oh, wait.
Listen. You didn't listen. Oh, well. He'll go ahead and launch the Falcon anyway. Not going to check out who's on top of the tower. Does not care.
This is one of those times where, I would normally think of if you're trying to increase DPS, you would cast slow on Bahamut, try to and hope that's enough time. But this is one of the times where if there was a Tella in the party, casting fast on Bahamut might be to your benefit in the way NG Dave ran that, as making Bahamut go faster also makes him count down even faster, makes the whole process go down much more smoother. It's kind of one of those things where you do the opposite of what you would think makes sense, and that's rarely used tech, but hey, it's an option on the table if you really need it.
Garen got their Legend Sword from the Flame Dog chest. Poydrak taking on Valvalis. Commander Leonhardt tried that. Valvalis did not find it to his taste. Instead, getting out, going to the moon, potentially for a character, does have the Magma Key in hand, so can just last location the hook route and just save it for when he has power overwhelming to make that an even easier fight.
Yeah, so it's an interesting. It's an interesting choice because the one, even though you fade out, it's an objective. So you basically going to spend essentially effectively twice as much time in the Tower Babel, the upper side, to do the hook route. So it's just one of those decisions where if you choose the safety part, you'll spend more time in that. That's it. If you want to complete the seed, sometimes you don't want to bang your head against that wall. So it's an option, and now NG Dave is picking this chest. Not a difficult chest, especially when Quake Kid alive. As long as Quake Kid gets off the Quake, there's no problem. With all the options on the table, Hourglass of saving a few definitely helps here. And Wolf, I think, probably not sure of getting enough damage on the initial Quake, so smart idea, especially, I don't think there's any good stat sticks for Palom available, so this will guarantee that Quake will pretty much kill all that's on the field.
Yep, the Change Rod should do well enough, although I don't know if NG Dave's Palom has that Change Rod, might still be with the Dancing Dagger and a Gaia hat. Just a coffin from that, but quality experience from the warrior's chest.
It could be a thought to try to fight to do Dwarf Castle early, hoping for the 5th character to show up. I mean, we know there's a Cecil, and there might be a dupe in that spot, but there also is another character, so there's still kind of options on the table. And Commander Leonhardt stares at that mom bomb, ponders, and resets because ew.
And in the King Queen spot, the Magus Sisters are on the King side of the throne, and a Lunar Sparkle on the Queen side. Kind of an ugly Baymarch there.
Hey, Vanilla Charm at its normal spot. Quaint. There's that. Magus Sisters actually are not very threatening at that spot. Leviathan spot has surprisingly low spell power. You think it's a threat, but if you've ever taken an Ice 2 at that spot, it's not as strong as you'd think it should be. So it's actually kind of lower than average spell spot. I mean, the Azure spot has quite a bit more. So the Magus Sisters are actually less threatening. That spot punches hard, but Cindy, again, in the middle, considered back row, will not be as effective. She'll still punch really hard occasionally, but not the same threat that she would normally pose.
And I believe NG Dave, like all of our runners, has mute arrows on hand. Definitely is preparing to take on one or both of these fights. Stayed at the Fey Marriott, whose prices are pretendous.
It's more expensive than a cabin. Just take that for what it's worth. But this will be interesting, especially when Rosa is the anchor. She has the Artemis. I think probably has the Heroine Robe. Lots of DPS, but all the other characters might be a little bit slow. Quake Kid will provide, but that's kind of... See, that damage, still enough for taking down Quake Kid, unfortunately. Low levels will do that for you, and put that earlier hit.
Hi everyone, this is your Restreamer talking here. I want to give big shoutouts to Sheep Launcher and the wonderful puns to the point where I literally cracked up at the Fey Marriott. Really? That's what you're going with? Sorry, y'all can get back to your comments. I had to jump in for that. That was wonderful. Continue on.
Commander Leonhardt, by the way, check the Job Dwarf, a water pollution control inspector. So that sounds very important. I think in the lava, the Job Dwarf will find a lot of pollution.
I mean, there's a lot of things being dumped in there. I mean, lava hides a lot of things. It's also source of nutrients in some way, I guess, for plants, future plants. But I don't know what grows in the underground. Commander Leonhardt's finding out what that forged item is. Certainly will be beneficial. The shop, just like any other, it's as Wilder. So get the nice arrows. That's nice.
Did I see protect rings for sale? I don't think I've ever seen anything as good as protect rings for sale in a Coco S Wild shop.
I've seen. Well, considering it's hard, it's gated. Most of the time. I mean, I like Protect. I like Crystal. I think is it 50,000. Protect is 30,000 here. So it's actually worth an upgrade. But I think Crystal rings are a lot more value when you can find them. There's a lot more application, but Protect rings also not too shabby.
Enja Dave did take a wipe to the Magus Sisters. Going to try it again, lower the battle speed to battle speed 3. And we'll hopefully be able to get off a few more actions to take on the Magus Sisters this time. Poydrak, meanwhile, gets underground, checks the top of the tower, finds Dark Imps there. And I wanted to say this with Enja Dave. If I were Poydrak as well, I would be really tempted to just ditch the Falcon as soon as you launch it, go straight back up this tower with that tower key, especially with the Dark Imps on top. If Poydrak has any hourglasses left, can take care of that lickety split. 2 key item checks up here. That would be really tempting for me.
It's not even 2, it's actually 6 possible.
Correct.
K-Trap, we got 4 Siren Trap chests. Those are the practical, alert, and to some lesser degree, the last arm. They're pretty much free most of the time. So this is as long as you kind of get it in one hit, or maybe put a stop on it for a brief moment so it doesn't try to summon anything. Well, at least alerts, anyways. So last arm is a different beast. Those are like the quickest. Those are one of the quicker key item K-Trap chests that worth your time doing, at least early into the underground.
Garen also going to duck out of Cave Eblin and head over to Agrid. I believe Garen picked up the Magma Key while they were down there. Yeah, gonna drop the Magma Key in, not gonna take on the hook route right now. And as with Commander Leonhardt, it's available to them, the hook route, anytime they want to do it. It's just another trip in. But hey, maybe you want to get your steps in.
Hey, the dwarf shop has all your camping gear needs. Why to go to the Fey Marriott when you can just go to Jayat's discount shop?
There you go.
I mean, and Enja Dave's taking a different decision. Porum is doing all the work. It actually makes sense because if we let the fastest character do the work, she's not going to get her turns in. Where in this situation where Rosa is much slower, Porum is able to get to do more work with all the berserker stuff. The heron robe, the Artemis bow. So that was a very smart decision by Enja Dave to go that route.
And Poydrak taking on Mylon Z, and Commander Leonhardt faces a fission from Wyvern. Ooh,
but hey, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But Yong dodges, or maybe it didn't target Yong.
No, it's so in those situations where Witchburn is enabled, they will choose back row or front row. So it just decided back row, and that just happened to be where all the mages were. So Yang was spared. Everyone else took the nap. That's fine. That's the best way to go out with a bang, I guess. At least if you're Wyvern.
And so Commander Leonhardt does get that objective, also gets a plain white tea for his trouble. So he'll say, "Hey there, Delilah." Garrett and Poydrak taking on Mylon Z in the front spot could be a little bit of an issue, but Poydrak taking care of it really quick. And Wyvern was in the Queen spot, the Magus Sisters in the King spot of the Town of Monsters.
So we're gonna find out what the free character is through Poidrak, and that character is, hey, do we find any good Hanzo steel in the shop?
So yeah, Murasame is for sale in the Feymarch actually.
I guess so. Well, that will be on the way anyways. I think with the different trying to get the character. You know, I mean, Cecil, while still on the table, looks less appealing. Might just, donate all those crystal swords to charity and get some Hanzo steel. I think of
maybe
that. I mean, well, that's Feymarch is an objective, effectively the bosses. So that trip is going to happen sooner rather than later. So that if you say no to Cecil, we'll just eat all those crystal swords for it. I like there's why especially when he's gated at this point. So this you don't know when you're gonna get the sand ruby, and we'll find out really soon.
And so Poidrak will soon have a chance to get 2 more key items. The warp glitch is on. The warp glitch allows our runners to warp from the dwarf castle to the key item location in the sealed cave, and so he has a warp caster. Will be able to take advantage of that. Sheila's got stuff that we've seen before: an Avenger and a Moonveil.
Nice, but she doesn't have the goods this seed.
Nope.
With K-Trap on the table, there's a lot. You might want to, when you're running this, you might be thinking, if you're not getting kind of enough key items, they're more likely to be in trap chests. They're gonna more likely to be underground. Like, you have to evaluate and hope. That's nice. That warp glitch, that pink tail, don't have to come back. We don't have to bother with the sealed cave unless D-Mist is getting something and is actually at the boss spot. So which I don't know we haven't seen D-Mist yet. So there's that might still be a place to go or completely fade at this point.
So Enjadave is back with us, taking on Mom Bomb now, and Mom Bomb we know is at Cave Bahamut. So we know that Enjadave summoned the whale. We know before he cut out that he defeated the king at the Town of Monsters, the Mega Sister spot. I'm gonna guess he also defeated Wyvern while he was there. Although I haven't seen his stream, so I don't know. But that's gonna be my guess.
It's a probably good chance. That Wyvern's taken on. Like, you still the peak. You might as well peek at that spot, and it's not like I mean, you kind of want to find out where Wyvern is anyways. There's just some bosses where you kind of want to take a peek at if it's punchy, and the Azure spot isn't too bad overall. So it, not really as concerned, and and we see, unfortunately, Dave, we're having connection issues. Because Twitch is stable sometimes. Sometimes.
Poidrak did find a Masamune somewhere, and has that equipped on his edge, so he's loaded for bear. And as we get up to the hour mark, do want to thank our restreamer Dathis for performing yeoman's work throughout this entire seed. Thank you also to our tracker Alicel, being intrepid in tracking all the K main and all the K traps, which is a lot of fun to do on a 4-person seed. I recommend it if you've never done it before. It really keeps you on your toes. And thanks also to Deathlike for providing all of the knowledge. And we're glad you're with us as well, wherever you are in the world on Friday night or later on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. We're so glad to have you with us. This is really a lot of fun.
Certainly fun to be here. And Commander Leonhardt finding was it Water Hag or Alt Gauntlet? Just have to wait for the delay. Delay. That means Alt Gauntlet. Senator Crocodile. Please stop filibustering. Thanks.
The eyes have it. And other political things.
Yeah. There was some talk of giving the alligator that might show up, Alderman alligator. That might be a thing. That's really cool. So I mean, we need more alligators and crocodiles filibustering for our sake, because the more they talk, the less we understand why we made mistakes in trying to stop them from opening their mouths.
I didn't vote for them.
Well, I did.
Oh, okay. Well, that defeating the point of the secret ballot, but sure.
I have rights to tell you that I voted for them. I have the option. I don't have to, but I did.
And Jadave gets through with 89 more HP than he required. Does complete that objective. Cave Bahamut is defeated.
Yeah. I mean, XP really isn't that great at this spot, but hey, Artemis and the Artemis arrows still won't exactly be better than the Perseus arrows if Forge had been taken. Although I don't think Edgedays picked up the Legend Sword, so it doesn't quite matter. Those Artemis arrows will still be useful when we see another dragon boss, and there are plenty of them on the table.
Aqua worm. I want to see an aqua worm. Aqua worm.
I could almost play that tune in my head, like if it was live. That's. It
just was live. I was singing it for you live.
I know, but I can continue it like indefinitely. I don't know how that works. It's a miracle. Those. The little fun thing about electric fish is that they're also flying. Because it's shocking. I know.
Haha. I'm stunned. One more fight for Commander Leonhardt, where we get the Hydras and Aqua Worms and Senator Crocodiles. Oh my.
So, the waterway, these fights, you can also, if you find them in the Alt Gauntlet in the Baron Inn, or even the Throne. So, and they're all uniquely different. At least there's some variation. Don't know the exact terms, but I mean, there's the last one is always the most difficult one in that spot. Typically, the rarest one. So, if you're surprised to see a formation you don't usually see, well, that's why they exist. And is this Ogo? Because that's what we have left, I think. These Lunars.
Yep. So it's a duopoly on the throne, a duarchy, a zombarchy. They're undead and they're on the throne, and soon they will be deposed.
Well, there are so many things under that trench coat that the king disguise is. I mean, it's hard to imagine, but then again, who knows? And free character, and this is not what we're looking for. Although I don't think we found a spoon yet, though.
No, the spoon flag is on, but the spoon is still at large. By the way, if you want to have somebody to really keep an eye on for the spring tournament, we have a first place finisher. Rybon has finished in first place with a time of 1:01.26. GG's to Rybon. Rybon won the Monday community race with these same flags as well. Really rounding into form just in time for the spring tournament. Look out.
This from what we're seeing from restream runners, I mean, this flag set, I mean, not everyone's used to S Wild, not everyone's used to O-Win, not used to K-Trap. So, I mean, maybe the way of winning is not having to do as many, drawing the fewest traps as possible. This is because that's blazing speed. So, I mean, we'll find out how we would get there, but there's just so many bosses to get through to figure out. how do we get there?
Commander Leonhardt is making the Keyful Tower play. Meanwhile, Edgedave is in the Ribbon Room taking on Dr. Luge, as Poydrak defeats the King of the Town of Monsters and is about to get a big surprise from that Blarg. Garen about to find the same thing.
Yep. Well, I mean, hey, you're guaranteed to win. Just be like, oh, what? How did this happen? Oh.
Yeah, it's a scary thing. Fission literally takes up the entire screen and does quad nines to a lot of your folks. Just not all of them.
And explodes again. Back row devastated with all the mages. It's unfortunate. So
what happened? Well, Commander Leonhardt found the Luca key, by the way. Not much help. It's a key item, but the key item there is accessible through Dwarf Castle through that work glitch, and the boss is most likely not important.
Oh well, found harp. Hooray! Yeah. It's on the table. So, I mean, Commander Leonhardt going thoroughly through Lower Babel. They're both towers, you know. They have the same architecture, except one's in the air and one is lodged in two different spots on the blue planet. So it's hard to keep them straight.
And Commander is gonna chase that harp. Runner of the people going to go check that harp music right away. It's like, you know what? This is my ticket to. It's an objective. It's a play that probably not too many other people will make. This is my chance to really make a big splash.
I mean, music. That's the only reason to do it is music. It is an objective. I'm wondering if Commander Leonhardt went through all the trap chests. Like there was like it probably may have gone through like two at least. I think. Yeah. So
he got the Luca key and the twin harp from the two trap chests he checked.
So there were two others at large. Would have been worth at least picking at those. Maybe doing top of Lower Babel and see what's there. But hey, twin harp. I mean, I can't say no to music, so how about music? And of course, Enjide fights Dark Elf at I think the Ogo spot, the Masamune altar. So speaking of Dark Elf.
Yeah, so this Dark Elf will not be a huge threat here. The dragon form will punch a little bit, and so Enjide will get some blinks up. But I did not see. Enjidave's stream was out. I did not see if Enjide defeated the White Spear altar. I imagine he did, and if he did, this is once he defeats this Dark Elf, it's the win the game. And our tracker, Alisale, being intrepid as always, confirming that this is indeed Enjidave's last fight. Enjide will win the game once he defeats the Dark Elf.
Yeah, so the general objectives for this entire flag set, you basically do Fey March, or do you do more Moon, with Cave Value and Cave Bahamut, and the Masamune altar, which is the Ogo spot. So, but we haven't. Because of the additional randomized objectives, the White Spear altar is also on the table. So in Enjidave's mind, it makes sense to, especially with the Fey March being not as free, but it's mostly free, and then you have a lot of the objectives lined up on the moon. I mean, it made sense to do the way he did it, and
we have harp music. And that was beautiful. And we are joined by our second place finisher, Enja Dave, with a time of 1:10:51. GG's.
Yes. Thank you. Interesting.
So, yeah, what'd you think of that? The moon pretty much really invited you to go on up, and you took that invitation.
Well, given there were 3 up there, was kind of required. Yeah, no idea where the magma key was. I didn't see a reason to hunt for it, given that Hook and Darkness combined with Go mode.
Yeah, and that magma key was in a really obnoxious spot.
Yeah, I just saw it.
So, tell us about your thoughts once you saw that Fame Arch, saw the Sparkle and the Magus Sisters down there.
Well, Magus Sisters, I had mute arrows, so that wasn't a terrible fight. I just had to stop fast anchoring, which was the mistake I made.
Yeah, we'd figured.
So after the first fight, I just kind of took all my gear and said, "Forum, here you go." Hey,
all that equipment is very transferable to a murder child. That is always appropriate. No shame in that. But yeah, that fast anchoring, that having Rose up with all the power and that fast spot, that was definitely a good decision there.
And the queen spot, we always love a good boom burn, right?
Yeah, did you remember that fission only targets one row, or did your heart leap into your chest there a little bit?
I knew it was safe, but like if you had a hot mic on, you would have heard the laughter the moment I saw fission show up on the screen.
Wyvern go boom. That's the way it likes it.
Funny enough, I was playing a practice seed of Tournament Flag set earlier and had Explode Wyvern at the same spot.
That's always fun.
Poor Eddie didn't ever knew it hit him.
So in a seed like this where the hook route is kind of it is required anyway, basically, and the magma key is really hard to find. When do you kind of shift your mindset from looking for that magma key to I'm gonna do the hook route, I'm preparing for that?
At the moment I saw was Bahamut there. Really, it's look who the second boss is first. Bahamut's a very free boss. Also, did you know that fast anchoring, you don't get 2 reflects with wall?
Yeah.
I just learned that.
You taught us that.
In my defense, I thought that would work.
Rosa would be in fast enough to out DPS Bahamut.
No, the DPS was just to tenderize it so 2 Mega Nukes would kill.
Well,
that's why it's got 25.2, which is a little bit more than 20,000.
You leave the boss to do the work, most of the work for you. Just have to time it right. That's
right. Roses had to do a little bit of tenderizing first. That was the thought. It's just I was the one who got flame broil at the end of it.
Well, with the kind of hallmark of this flag set and of the spring tournament overall is as Herm Edwards said, you're playing to win the game. What do you think of the win game condition, and how did you kind of treat that differently than you would a Zeroma seed?
Well, win game you really could just go with it. There's less grind required, I found. Like, I did take a few grind fights, the hair dryers and the warriors, which instantly is why I popped that. I wanted some XP.
Yeah, you did get Palom to Quake from that hair dryer chest, which we noticed.
I've noticed less grinding overall required. Does make for faster seeds. Can make more risky plays, which is fun both as a player and as a viewer.
It is, and I think that's one of the hallmarks of this flag set is you get to, both with the 6 of 8 objectives and with the win game, you get to see a lot of risks. You get to see a lot of divergence. I think it'll be interesting to see.
Now, one thing that from running practices of this flag set and some of the pickups I've noticed, ordeals seems to not be the play a lot of times.
That is it's an interesting observation. I don't. And why do you think that is?
Cecil not guaranteeing the seed. You honestly don't need his firepower a lot of times.
I mean, there was one in the seed.
I knew that. I checked the seed ruby.
And you got plenty of crystal swords to go with it. It's like,
well, I knew where they were for sale. I didn't loot any trap chests to find them.
Oh, there were plenty of them on trap chests, fortunately. So if you didn't have to buy one, but you'd have to definitely loot more. So yeah, that was a. It, like, I mean, I think you're the only one of the only one restream that had a set of 4 characters instead of 5. I think everyone's picked up at least another additional character. So I think, I mean, that's still clearly unnecessary. So
a murder child with a Quakecaster backing her up, enough to go through a seed. And Yang for some chemistry if you need it.
Yeah, always good to have backup. So, any other thoughts on this particular seed or the flags in general?
The more I play it, the more I think it's an interesting put together flag set. It's grown on me a bit as I played more of them.
Well, that's great. You really seem to have grown into it as well. A really impressive race tonight. 2nd place overall. Once again, GG's to you and Jadave.
Yes, thank you. And I will let you get going because it seems, looks like a commander's getting ready to finish up.
Yeah, Commander is on to the Masamune altar fight. And meanwhile, we have a 3rd place finisher. Coffee and Chocobos has finished in 3rd with a time of 1:17:42. All
right, GG's again to NG Dave for joining us. So Commander Leonhardt, this is a pretty much of a breeze. The spot is kind of strong in spells, but given that it's split, it's not the same threat, and frankly, could probably just get Yang to do most of it, or one of the murder children, or both murder children. They'll be doing some work. So I think Eddie can take a break. Don't have a spoon. So like, what is he's? I guess he's there for moral support at this point. I think there's not much, and even the Dark Dragon form of Dark Elf, not really. Not. I mean, this is a reasonably punchy spot, but. At this point, you should probably get enough DPS to take them both down. So that's, I think if Commander Lear still has a hourglass, the second part is very trivialized. So that's as the Dark Dragon version of Dark Elf does not have the boss bit. So it's a kind of one of those favorite things to do, and Commander Lear just read my mind because decided, hey, slow down, Dark Elf.
All right, so here's something else about this flag set. The no free bosses flag is on, and that means Dark Dragon form does not have the boss bit on, so cannot be stopped, and that means these Baron guards that Garen is facing down here also cannot be stopped. And cannot be muted because they get the boss bit put back onto them.
I kind of almost forget about that flag. You know, you have all this firepower. You kind of need to give some of that power back to the bosses. So, I thought, I was thinking you were gonna go to a music track with what you said about stopping the boss. Now, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I think Commander Leonhart still has the Artemis arrows or not? I don't think that was picked up by Commander Leonhart, maybe, possibly.
Might have gotten an Artemis bow. I don't know if he has Artemis arrows.
I remember there was Mom Bomb. Yeah, Poidrex picked that up. So that might, or maybe it could be the Perseus arrows that was picked up from Forge, as that was. Commander Leonhart has both parts of Forge, so, and should be ending the seed, I think. Oh no, he has. Oh, still has more. Okay.
Gets the defense sword, although the Dark Dragon won't stop. He can die and did die. But Commander Leonhart did finish the Masamune altar and has one more objective to go. And the Ribbon Room has double X-Cows. Why not?
I mean, there is an edge in the seed, and there is a Cecil in the seed. And we could always ignore them, but that's okay. It's this seed does have jokes. It's all over the place, and it's well enjoyed.
Oh, and Garen putting on Perseus arrows onto that Rosa in preparation for this White Spear altar.
Yep, and we'll find out it's Dr. Dialogue, and he has many things to say. It's actually, the vanilla fight for Dr. Luge is a bit slower. So one of the things in Free Enterprise is that kind of all the bosses kind of have kind of a unified agility rating based on the spot. So Mega Sisters are consistent, but in the vanilla fight, Dr. Luge is much slower than Banalb, and that's which when you see the oil for healing, that's just Dr. Luge going kind of sped up quite a bit. So and makes for an interesting opportunity for Dr. Luge to see more of his robot, kind of merged form. So it's a kind of one of those things where sometimes you want to aim for the Doctor straight up and just let the robot explode because his master is gone. So it's one of those things unique to Free Enterprise.
And Commander Leonhardt's Edward does have that moon veil, so will definitely be surviving this Mom Bomb fight until the explode phase.
It's a lot of fun when you have two white mages in a seed. I mean, obviously Palom's also contributed, but when you have two white mages, you can take on any physical monster or boss. So behemoths become a lot more attractive to take on, and punchy bosses like Mom Bomb, not the same threat that they once were.
And look at all those blinking characters. Wonderful to see. Gonna try and slow down that Mom Bomb to make the explode effect as limiting as possible.
Well, with the Bahamut spot, the explode is not the threat. It's not a lot of the explode effect. It's not the same as the regular explode that you see from bombs. It's a kind of specialized, kind of like a fire 2 that does split damage. So it doesn't. So basically, it's not as threatening as it could be. I mean, at this, if Mom Bomb exploded right now, Palom would go down, but Edward probably would still live.
Garen takes care of the White Spear altar and only has to go down to the Masamune altar in order to get their 6th objective, I believe.
Yep.
And luckily for us, uses the cabin to spare us from the poison walk.
Some people love Poison Walk, though I think it has to be said that walking, our characters are sped up in terms of walking in Free Enterprise. So I don't think that sound was naturally meant to be playing at that speed that frequently. So it's some people like that Poison Walk though.
And Commander Leonhardt has completed 6 objectives and finishes in 4th place with a time of 1:26:47. GG's to Commander Leonhardt. We'll see if we could get him in for an interview. And it looks like Garen and Poydrak are not too far behind here.
I mean, it can only go one way, and I think the objectives lend to finishing up on the moon, which is kind of nice. You don't have a pass available too.
And we are joined by Commander Leonhardt. GG's. We can't hear you if you're speaking. While Commander gets that sorted out, Garen is just chucking everything that they have at this Dark Elf. You can't take it with you.
Everything must go. That's all sales final. So can't return those Excals, Dark Elf. Can't return those Excals.
And we'll see if Garen remembers that the boss bit will be on for the Dark Dragon form. And we'll see if we have Commander Leonhardt in here. Commander, you there? Not quite yet. Garen will wrap up their seed. And there it is, the congratulations screen, and Garen finishes in 5th place with a time of 1:28:40.
Well, that's one part fixed.
There you go. We are joined by Commander Leonhardt, who finished in 4th
I had a Windows
place.
update
GG's.
right before the race. I still can't hear you, which is why I'm talking over you.
Oh,
You want to take
well, that's
Garen
an issue.
and let me futz with this and flop me back in after?
All right, we will allow Commander to work out his technical issues.
Hey, leave it to something else. Futzing around with Discord and all the things. So yeah. Timely update, as they say.
And we'll try and get Garen in here for an interview. We are joined by Garen. GG's.
Thank you. Helps when I put the mic in my own mouth.
Yeah, that would help. So, what did you think of that scene?
Yeah, I can't really repeat that on
Okay, well, let's come up with a convincing lie then.
It was wonderful. How about that?
Well, I guess. Let's start with what surprised you with this seed? I mean, this seed had some jokes, so I'm sure you learned something new today.
Yeah, I mean, that magma key where it was kind of a bit of a joke, and then Vale and Bahamut is the block. Okay.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a tricky hook route. Val's magic defense at that spot not as high as you would think, but it was a little bit of a tricky spot. Not a lot of HP to cling on to early on. Pretty much an all mage party set to face that hook route. How did you kind of feel yourself for that?
Well, I was really hoping I wouldn't have to go with hook route at some point, and it turned out I could skip it.
Yeah, that is a kind of one of the caveats of Force Hook. I think I spoke earlier in the restream. Force Hook still allows the hook. Force Magma allows the hook to be in play. So what that also means is that it could be essentially within the hook route, at least on the overworld. So that that trap chest where you did find the magma key, hey, there it is. It could also have been like I had rolled a seed for myself. Hey, a demist at the King Queen Headland spot, which that had the magma key. So I guess at that point, did you think you had kind of at what point did you prepare for the kind of the hook route?
I really never did. I was thinking to myself, as soon as I saw the Bahamut, it's like, that's going to be hard with the party I have at that level, especially because I don't really have any Star Veils and there's no J in this one, so it's like,
It's totally understandable. Yeah, I mean, you can't replenish it, you can't, and your DPS was low, completely understandable. So, there. I mean, it was an object. I mean, obviously, the doing the hook route is an objective, but you had a way out. So, no shame. It's an alternative route, and you needed to get to the end ground anyways.
Yep, and since I never saw the Twin Harp, it's like, okay, well, off the moon we go.
Yeah, you were actually the first runner on stream to get that Darkness Crystal. What did you think when you first got that Darkness Crystal, knowing that you had so many moon objectives to go?
Well, I knew I had to go to moon because there was 3 of them up there, so it's like, don't want to go early, because then, if you have double back, it's not good. Debating hair dryers or checking the character early, but it's like, Figured I wanted to at least have Quake before I went up there, so,
Yeah, understandable. I mean, hair dryers can be a little annoying. So yeah, and obviously, the dupe character up there I think it was a dupe Porum. So did you? Would there been other circumstances to consider going up early for the extra character, if it wasn't a dupe character?
Well, I mean, that still have been nice, all the crystal swords, but I don't know if he was even in the seed.
Yeah, it turns out he was behind the Sand Ruby, and you could have gotten that if you dived into the Sylph Cave. Totally worth it. All right, well,
Sylph Cave with Rose would not be a good idea in this one, I don't think.
Any final thoughts on the seed or on the flag set for tonight, Garen?
Who needs agility anchoring, right?
You're never gonna get it anyway.
Yeah, but using heroin is like throwing gasoline on it.
That was, I think, some of our runners have kind of like realized, hey, Rose is going a little too fast. So the heroin robe, when you kind of leave it on the character you prefer it on, and then fight certain bosses, kind of have probably had to think twice a bit for a moment.
Or just, you only live once, and just have her cast Berserk at the first, and hope you can blink her later.
Well done, and GG's tonight, Garen, and we look forward to seeing you as we ramp into tournament season.
All right, good night, guys.
GG's, Garen.
And we had a 6th place finisher, Poydrak, as you saw on stream, finishing in 6th place with a time of 1:30:01. Poydrak in across the pond will not join us because it is super late there. But we are going to be joined hopefully by Commander Leonhardt, who is off of ninja mode and onto chatting with us mode. GG's, Commander.
Thank you, Sheep Launcher.
So what did you think of that seed?
So the only seed of this particular flag set I've run. I looked it over this morning and read the feedback channel in the Free Enterprise Discord, which, if you're watching this and you're not already on the Discord, you should probably change that. and just kind of got a general idea. So I really don't know how to compare it to what's normal for this flag set. I was amused by the Magma Key on the hook route, but I have seen that happen before on K-Trap, so it was a possibility in the back of my mind. That was a cute beginning to everything.
Yeah, you seem to bounce around in the seed a little bit, having a little trouble getting a foothold. It wasn't the easiest party to kind of blast through the early game.
No, like during the 10 minutes of waiting after getting the seed booted up, I saw Rosa, and I wrote down 4 things on a piece of paper: bow, arrow, heroine robe, and crystal ring. I knew I wanted those for her as soon as I could get a hold of them, and some showed up faster than others. But once I got them, I started to work, and thought it was doing okay, but again, I have no benchmark. Thought I was doing all right as far as moving through and making checks. Sometimes you're just going to do a thing last, and that's how it is. Seemed to stall out more towards the mid-game after I started to get on the ground, bounced off Val, didn't deal with that Magus Sisters, and needed a little while to figure out how I was going to put an end to the seed.
Yeah, I think Magus Sisters, was kind of a speed bump for many of our runners. Most due part that mostly just remembering, hey, Rosa is the anchor, and that kind of was the, making changes to Rosa, specifically equipment. I think there was definitely heroine robe in the. I'm not sure if you picked up an Artemis bow, but that was. Anything that boosted her agility, kind of messed with your fight effectively.
By the time I got to Magus Sisters, I had, pretty sure I had the Artie bow. The heroine robe, I think, was in Tamra, and the crystal ring was pretty early. I think the Artie bow was in Silvera. But it's still, having her whiff 2 Zerks was not ideal. Granted, we just spoke of all the gear that caused her to whiff Zerks, but it still was not what I was looking for. Get her Zerked, and have Porum put a blink on her before Porum falls, and then just hope she can shoot them enough times to carry through. And after that first one failed, I'm like, you know what? This is 6 of 8. I'm not going to keep beating my head on this. The Wyvern next door was great, though.
I think everyone thoroughly enjoyed it and was shocked at the same time. Hey.
I mean, for my money, I'm still back on a certain club race from a little while back where a lone Edward walks into the Ordeals chamber and sees a Wyvern and probably goes, eek! And then the Wyvern says, retreat. But anyway, I digress.
That is always a fun one. But yeah. Yeah, did you remember the fission only targets 1 row? Or did you just think, oh?
I had a feeling, but I mean, by the time you see the fission, what are you going to do? Reset? I don't have reset mapped to a button. By the time I reach for my mouse and drag it over to the window, that fission's done. Might as well just let it finish and see what happens. But it was there in my mind, like, yeah, okay, this is good.
So one of the hallmarks of this flag set is the win game condition. What do you think of that in general, that you're playing to win the game rather than to defeat Zeromus?
Well, I run a club where win game's a thing. So it's fun. It's definitely a different approach. I feel like win game's a side effect of the things about this flag set that really intrigued me, specifically Sea Hero No Cursed. I looked at that when the flag sets were announced for the community race, and I went, I'm intrigued. There are some other things that aren't my style, but I can adapt to. I've never been a heavy shopper, and that's kind of a requirement. But you know, for a chance to play Sea Hero No Cursed, we'll see what else works out with it. Also, no EXP. That too.
Is there anything in this flag set that you? This is the first time you've ran this flag set.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did you have any other thoughts regarding the flag set, or anything that you liked in addition to like Shops Wild and whatnot?
Well, like I said, I like Sea Hero, as some of the feedback put it already. Having perfect anchoring not be a fait accompli is nice. You've actually got to think about your agility situation and how you're going to handle that. No EXP kind of kicks us out of the grind early, grind often setup that's prevalent in a lot of flag sets. So those are both nice touches. And at that point, it just then, I think, became a challenge for the dev team of putting together something that you could run those flags on and still be in that good 90 to 120 that we like for community races, or maybe even 60 to 90, depending. But something that doesn't get just too horrific and too frustration. And there's a lot of other things in here that balance that. It's a nice mix. I'm looking forward to running it again on Monday.
All right, and we're looking forward to seeing you on Monday and seeing you in the tournament season. Any final thoughts on this seed before we let you go tonight, Commander?
Oh, just the usual. Thank you, Dathis, for the restream. Thank you, LSL, for tracking. Deathlike and Sheep Launcher. I'm going to do my customary go back, watch the race and the commentary, especially having no idea what is meta and any of that. I will definitely be looking for feedback from the other runners and from the two of you. So thank you all.
Well, you'll get puns anyway, but...
Yay, puns!
All right, Commander. GG's once again.
GG's. Thank you.
And Rex Banner finished in 7th place with a time of 1:39.51. And that's going to wrap us up for tonight. Do stick around tomorrow for... on the main Free Enterprise channel, we have Baron's Hero's Journey at 3 p.m. Eastern. Always a great way to spend your Saturday afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and we'll look forward to seeing you there. Do want to thank one more time our restreamer, Dathis, our tracker, Alicel. Did I mention how hard tracking on K-Trap is? Alicel did a terrific job, and thank you, Deathlike, for joining me in the booth. It was a whole lot of fun here tonight.
Oh, plenty of fun. I think the one note, Baron's Hero Race, I think his Seesaw is the star, so can't wait for that. And I think we're gonna send you off to the RPG Valks, who are running a Mystic Quest rando. So if you'd liked actual jumping, legit push B to jump, that's where that feature came from, that whole idea. So that's tons of fun, and so Tybalt is going to be running that that should be a lot of fun, considering.
Yeah, so, before we send you over there, do want to remind you of one more race happening this weekend. Tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Eastern, Speedrun Ragnarok is running a Free Enterprise race. There's going to be a new Z Sprite. There's going to be new harp music. You do not want to miss that. So look them up at Speedrun Ragnarok. But yeah, for now, we'll take you over to RPG Valkyries, where our friend Tybalt is running Final Fantasy Mystic Quests rando. So until next time, for all of us here, so long.
See you all next seed.